Imagine finding a massive hive of 50,000 bees behind your wall.
I didn't realize there was that much space in the wall for that kind of hive.
Right, let's just get downstairs calmly. Ring the police.
It's springtime, meaning spring cleaning is here and it's time to clean up your home and find random things you never knew you had. But whatever you do, don't look inside your walls. You might regret it, because some people have found very horrific things. From an infestation of deadly spiders to the remains of a murder victim. Let's talk about these and more only in today's video. Top 10 scary things people found living in walls. Starting off this countdown, we have the cats. A couple of years ago in an old cottage in Pendle, Lancashire, a crusty mummified cat was found inside one of the walls. Apparently, back in the day, people thought that hiding cats in walls was a way to ward off evil spirits. It's very common to find these mummified cats all over the UK in 17th and 18th century buildings. The particular building in Pendle, though, is thought to be the location where one of the most famous witch covens met. In 1612, 11 men and 1 woman from the coven were accused of witchcraft, and they were hung as a result. That is pretty freaking dark and creepy. Like, imagine being a cat lover and then finding a dead cat in your walls. Moving on to number 9, we have the underwear. And if you guys are liking this video so far, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Imagine renovating your home and finding centuries-old, used, dirty underwear in your walls. I would barf. That is disgusting. All across Western Europe, homeowners were finding these lovely gifts inside of their walls. In fact, it's such a common thing to find that people stopped caring and just kind of expect it nowadays. Apparently, hiding underwear in the walls dates back to the Middle Ages. They would often be stored alongside important documents or coins. Others hid their undies because it went along with a superstition. They thought that stashing away the panties would keep their house and everyone inside it safe. I don't know how a pair of dirty underwear could do that, but it's what they believed. Moving on to number 8, we have the snakes. If you know me, then you know I am not a fan of snakes. So I find this next story horrifying. Back in September of 2009, a couple named Ben and Amber Sessions moved into their brand new home in Idaho. They were so excited for their new adventures in this home. That was until they found the walls of their house filled with snakes. So apparently the home was on top of a snake den. The snakes would get into their house and slither through the walls and floors. Amber described living there as living in Satan's lair, and I couldn't agree more. Imagine waking up and finding a bunch of snakes in your bed. Like, that would be my worst nightmare. Coming in at number 7, we have the black mold. Back in November of 2011, the Brown family moved into a new home in Greenville, South Carolina. They were shocked after they moved an old bookcase aside and found a secret corridor, which to me is so fascinating because I've always wanted a secret passageway or a secret room in my house, but not this one. Inside the corridor, there was a note from the previous owner. The note from the owner says that he was living there for a while until his family started to feel very sick. That's when he discovered the house had a serious mold problem. And just like that, the home started to make the Brown family sick as well. As a result, they got their money back because the mold was not disclosed to them, and they packed up and left. Moving on to number 6, we have the spiders. This is another story that will give you the creepy crawlies. Back in October of 2014, a couple was forced to leave their newly bought home after finding it was infested with spiders. I don't know what's worse, having thousands of spiders pour out of your walls or snakes. Anyways, the couple said it looked like the spiders were bleeding out of their walls because all of a sudden they just started pouring out. That is so disgusting. To make it worse, the type of spiders were brown recluse spiders. Their bites can be deadly. The couple didn't want to take any chances, and so they got the hell out of there. This looks like the job for Bob Duncan and his Bob Bugs Be Gone. If you get that reference, then hit that thumbs up button and let me know in the comments below. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the toxic waste. In February of 2017, an Ontario man found 400 barrels of toxic waste hidden behind the walls of his home. Yes, 400 barrels. What on earth were they doing there, you ask? Well, apparently the home's original owner, John Curry, was the head of a tar product business, and he never got rid of his waste properly. In fact, he had a record for inappropriate waste disposal. So who knows where other barrels of his waste may be? Now here's the thing. The owner after John found 400 barrels himself when knocking out a wall. Then the next owner found an additional 400 barrels. So in total, there were 800 barrels of toxic cancer-causing waste behind the walls. That is absolutely insane. Moving on to number 4, we have the secret cameras. Not gonna lie, I am now so paranoid to go to Airbnbs or hotels because the amount of stories of people finding the places rigged up with cameras. It happens more often than you think. Take this next story, for example. Back in April of 2016, a couple in Sydney, Australia discovered something quite disturbing. They were on a rental forum reading reviews when they saw reviews about their current landlord. The posts were from previous tenants, warning them about cameras he had installed in their walls. And they were right. After searching their home, they found multiple cameras hiding in walls, lights, smoke detectors, you name it. All of the cameras were connected to a shed that was near their house, but the landlord told them that only he has access to this shed. Well, guess what? Inside that shed was the landlord's creepy personal lair, where he would just watch the cameras. They called the cops on him and he was sentenced to 17 months in prison. Moving on to number 3, we have the human foot. A couple of years ago, a guy was helping his friend renovate her new home. They were tearing down walls and lifting up floorboards when they came across a real human foot. At first, they didn't know what it was because it didn't have flesh on it anymore. It was just a pile of bones, some pieces still connected, others snapped or broken off. But they ended up calling the cops and they discovered it was indeed a real foot. The scariest part is, if that's a real foot, then where's the rest of the body and who does it belong to? Does that mean that they'll have to rip apart the whole house to try and find the complete set of human bones? I don't want to know. In our second spot, we have the murder victim. Back in 2013, a family in New York discovered a false wall in their basement. To their horrors, laying behind the wall was the body of a woman that had been missing for 28 years. Her hands were tied and her body was wrapped in plastic bags and then placed in a plastic container. This woman was reported missing by her husband back in 1985. Clearly, he was the one behind her death, but he was never charged or convicted of this crime, because he passed away several months before the family found the body. And in our number 1 spot, we have the uninvited guest. This next true story sounds like it came straight out of a horror film or something. Close. It was written by a horror author, Grady Hendrix. This is apparently a real incident that happened to him when he was a kid. So basically, one day he snuck downstairs in the middle of the night to grab a sneaky snack. But when he looked into the kitchen, he saw a strange, thin man standing there eating their leftovers and drinking their milk straight out of the carton. In the morning, he told his parents, but they didn't believe him. Then another day, he was reading in his room when he looked up and saw a pair of eyes watching him from the vent above him. The parents searched the attic and crawl space, but found nothing. That was until one night, rice fell out of the vent and onto his bed. Turns out that it wasn't rice, but a maggot. There were now a bunch of maggots in the vent. They got it inspected and turns out that there was a man living in their walls and vent system. He ended up dying in there. That is absolutely horrifying, and probably why Grady became a horror writer in the first place, from all that childhood trauma. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know which one of those stories creeped you out the most. Honestly, the last one? No. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And now, speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shout out portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video Top 10 Scary Real Life Creepypastas Part 2. Eric Vince commented, honestly, you're my favorite host because of the funny references. Aw, thanks, Eric. At least someone gets my funny references, okay? Jashawn McGee commented, I love how they use their hands while talking. Hilarious, am I right? Jashawn, I have no clue what you're talking about. I don't use my hands at all. So I don't know what you're saying. JR Jones commented, saw you. Or maybe they're like, saw you! I don't know. I just thought that was really creepy. Like, you saw me where? I've been at home this whole time. What did you mean by this? Like, you saw the video, you saw me, I'll see you when I see you. I saw you when I saw you. I don't know what you're saying. Anyway, thanks for your comment. It's a little creepy, but that's fine. All right, guys, that's all the comments I'm showing up for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya.